104.1 KRBE. Let's get started. It's the Roula and Ryan Show.
Wake up, fool!
Hey, wake up!
It's about to get all stupid up in here!
Right here.
Featuring Eric.
Eric, he is a bad, bad man.
Special K.
The big red K.
Are you threatening me?
I'm waiting for you.
And Sam.
I am a wuss! I am a wuss!
You've waited long enough. How the heck do you pronounce this woman's name?
Roula. And
Ding dong.
Ryan. 104.1 KRBE.
Good morning.
Good morning, Houston, Texas. That's how I'm going to sound over here with my snowman voice.
Good morning.
That's my voice. That's my bitter cold snowman voice. Good morning, Houston, Texas. Good morning. It's Wednesday. It is January 22nd of 2025 at 6:01 a.m. with the gang, Roula, Ryan, Eric, Special K, and Sam. And here we go. Day 2 of one of the most epic, historic snowstorms.
Are you kidding me?
We call it a storm.
It was a record setter. So we had the single highest amount of snow since 1973. 52-year record was broken.
Whoa.
What was it back then? Was it like
what
3
was
inches
it?
then and it's 4 now?
Yeah,
What's
I mean, we
the
just,
difference?
well, the preliminary reports show that we got between 2 to 4 inches of snow throughout the whole city of Houston. That was just between Monday and Tuesday. And it basically tied. But it's been like, we've not
Didn't
seen
they say we
anything
had the
like
most
this.
since 1960 when you count the whole area or something? I heard like
the extended area.
I'll do a
listening
deep dive
area.
into that one.
'cause they
Yeah, I
were,
kept seeing so many different stats and numbers. I was like, oh.
I know.
All we need to know
It
is
snowed so
we
much.
never seen this in our life before. We were
Nope.
never born.
Not in our
snow.
city.
It's the biggest dump
Houston.
I've ever seen.
Ew.
doubt
Kev, with
that.
not having water at my house right now, please don't talk like that.
Oh,
okay?
Oh,
I'm
yuck.
so sorry.
I made sure to
man.
turn off my water again last night. I had it for a couple hours yesterday. Was able to turn it on. Didn't have any issues, thankfully. Even my kid got a hot little bath as he was playing with a balloon in the bathtub. I'm like, can we stop? Like, in and out, kid. And then I turned it off last night. I know, Kev, you turned off the water at your house too, right?
Sure did. Yeah, I wasn't going to deal with all that. And then I actually, after I turned off the water, I left Booster at home to monitor the situation. Then I came over to the hotel, and so I didn't have to drive on the treacherous freeways, y'all. Ooh.
Was your hotel more crowded last night than it was the night before? Since
No,
I didn't see
I
it.
didn't see anybody.
It's kind of a quiet, like,
quiet.
it has seen its better days in the past, but still nice. I mean, very nice, but it's not like, the hot spot.
No.
Well, it's
Fine.
good. It's good. That means
No
you
one's
don't
there.
need it.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. Exactly.
I'd
It's a good
I'd be
thing.
happy about that.
Well, but
Yeah.
People are
also
listening.
Rio Ranch was closed, so I could not have a late night nightcap or anything like that, or a late night steak beverage or something like that.
A steak beverage?
Yeah.
What's a steak beverage?
What the hell was that?
Liquefied steak.
Yeah, liquefied steak. Ew.
Gross.
Kevin.
Although I did see on Instagram, they put everything in bourbon now, Eric. There's a guy who, seared a ribeye and rendered the fat through the bourbon in a strainer, and then he made an old fashioned. I go, this is not something I ever need to try in my life. Ever.
More gimmicks. Maybe when
Do
we're back,
not.
we're all back in the studio. We got to ask Irvin. He does our digital. He called me Friday. He wants to get into the bourbon business of drinking it straight instead of
Oh, I was like the business.
Oh,
Like,
I thought he was going to be
Start
like a
making it?
distributor or something.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
instead of old fashions, he wants to go and change his palate. So I told him certain bourbons to try. So I need to find out if it worked or not. Or
Oh, so he's trying to broaden his horizons.
yeah, instead of just having the old fashioned, which is good.
I hope he likes stuff that burns because you only like 100+ proof.
I gave him stuff that was lower.
Yeah.
Well, also you
Like,
have
you
to
sniff it, it
learn.
burns your
You got to
hair.
learn how to drink it properly. There's a certain
Yep.
way to drink it.
It's
And you
fun.
can have it with a steak at a hotel that unfortunately didn't have it for you. So sorry, Kev. That's okay. You should have brought a roadie from your house if you were able
what
to
I
go
was
home
thinking.
yesterday.
A flask.
I got to bring
Yeah,
him
why not?
some chili. We got vats and vats of chili, so I think we've got enough chili to last for the next 6 months. But
So I saw Ryan.
good.
You built a snowman.
Yes.
With the KRB shirt. That was cute.
Yeah, if you go into my Insta, it's at Radio Ryan Chase. I can't take credit for it. I mean, fiance, I was like, what are you doing? She's building a snowman. I'm like, okay, I'll pose with it. But I
have
didn't
to say,
it.
I think it's super fun that we are in a place right now in Houston, Texas, where it is not even when we get snow in the past in our lives, we're like, well, it's not going to stick. It's going to snow, but not really. I mean, this is like legit. My kids built snowmen all day yesterday to the point where I thought they were going to get frostbite on their hands. Like, oh, you guys have got to come inside if your hands are wet like that. These gloves are not working properly. And they're still there. And we just have piles of snow on our front yard and driveway and our cars, which you have to clean off the windshield, because if you don't, it's going to be just a block of ice. But the sun's going to come out and melt it, thank goodness. It's not like we're living somewhere where we're going to have 6 days of this and then it turns into an iceberg. But that's really fun.
Half the fun was watching like people on the news, our own kids playing the snow, sledding. But I also loved watching like Kevin and Audrey had their dogs on Instagram. If you go to KRB, you can watch them because Audrey's got a big like husky.
Yeah.
So it's like,
and the husky is finally in his element.
Yeah, finally, it's cute. I put Sebi up for his first time in snow. Producer Eric on Instagram, but I saw your dog Charlie was all tired from playing in the snow or too scared.
So what happened with Charlie?
Was out there when the girls were building the snowman with my son. Charlie was out there. I don't think I posted this video, but the first time she tried to go outside and pee, she was like, what in the hell is this? And she ran back inside. She didn't go. And so I asked the kids later, I go, guys, has Charlie even gone to the bathroom at all today? And they're like, yeah, she was outside with us. When they were building the snowman, she was kind of pouncing around them. The fur was, the snow was stuck in her fur, like little ice.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
Snowballs.
And they just eat their paws. Yep.
Yeah.
We could not. We had put her in front of the fireplace on her little dog bed, and my daughter was sitting next to her with like a wet towel trying to melt the ice out of her fur. It would not melt out of her fur, and she was just like so shell shocked, like, why are my feet frozen? And after we got the ice off her paws, she left her bed and she came to where I was working in my house. And I took a video of her. She would not move. It was a little space heater. She would not move. After I did that video, Eric, that you saw, she was probably there for another, 35 minutes.
I don't blame her.
She was like, what happened to me? It is so cold outside. And then, I don't know, I think she was too scared to pee again.
Did you see the video that Sam sent of her son with the shovel?
Well, it's a broom.
No, I haven't seen that.
A broom. And Misty, her dog, is next to him. But if you push on the photo, it moves.
Photo.
You see her. Right when she shut it off, he picked up the broom, about to hit the dog.
Oh my gosh!
She's like, oh.
Yeah, I was like, Santiago, do not do that. But then Misty was thriving. She loves the snow. I had a little winter jacket on for her, so she absolutely loved it. Santiago loved it, but he won't.
Wait, you own a winter jacket for your dog in a place that we never need winter jackets for our dogs?
Oh,
Yeah,
we need jackets for our dogs in this climate.
Yeah,
We get a good 2 or 3
cold.
weeks of chilliness.
It gets chilly and she shakes. Her little fur just.
Well, my dog's never out
shakes a
long
little
enough. I just figure she'll run out and she'll run
If
back
you
in.
if you see
What?
Misty,
Go for a walk?
Sam's dog, when
Backyards?
she's wet, she's like a little teeny tiny rat baby. Like
rat baby.
Like
Like a
you
rat
could,
baby.
yeah,
She
you
looks
could
like a little washed up squirrel.
Yep, you could put your whole palm around her whole body and
She's
connect
only
your
10 pounds.
fingers.
I just enjoyed everybody's social media. I know the whole city of Houston, everybody posted a picture in the snow, but it's just so cute and it's fun. And Eric, I saw your daughter's, just that smile.
The little
looks-
TikTok
Oh, yeah.
video.
Oh,
just
yeah, that was
looks-
fun.
It's so authentic.
With the Christmas songs.
Yeah, I mean, y'all,
Since we live in a high rise, we don't have a backyard, so they go on the top of the parking deck, and it's got like. And then they started taking snowballs, throwing them off the deck. I'm like, no, don't do
Oh,
that.
yeah. Ooh,
you're
don't
down
It
below
was very
walking.
good, though. It was
That's
really
what
good
lady-
quality snowing. That was very powdery and perfect.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't like rock solid ice that hurts. I mean, it was really great snow.
It's like fluffy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were in it all day yesterday.
Now, here's something, I bet
People
you guys.
skiing. Did you see them skiing down the Herman?
Yeah. I saw the skier in Galveston, and I saw the sledders at Herman Park.
And somebody slid down on luggage. They took their luggage, tore it in half, and they were sliding down their luggage.
What?
Yeah, because they're
that's really
slippery.
creative.
They're slippery.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? One of the best things to use as a pool, like a pool
Raft.
ring or raft. Yeah, because they're
Yeah.
slick.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Oh, I
you know,
didn't
A lot of people had brought pool rafts to Herman Park. A lot of people brought
Kayaks.
just cardboard kayaks.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
canoes, suitcases. What else do we see? Somebody did have
Garbage
an actual
bags.
sled.
a garbage bag
that
would
one
work.
might be-
You mentioned luggage, but
snags.
the airport's actually opening this morning. So,
And how's that gonna happen? Like people can't get there, can they? Because
Some freeways.
No, they have it. So I believe they have the overpasses, the loops into the airport salted, but they say TSA checkpoints at Hobby and IAH are going to open at 9 this morning. Arriving flights, like flights that land in Houston, will start at 10 a.m., and then the first departures will be at 11 a.m.
Later on, like around 7:40, we got Leo Flores, the public information officer from TXDOT, and then Brian Mason, the director of emergency management coordinator for Houston. So he's one of the main people that put everything together to make sure we're all safe.
I would say so far, everybody's done a really good job. Like, I mean,
the mayor gave a really good review yesterday, or like a little kind of report saying that, everyone really behaved well, staying off those roads. The incidents for car accidents, or emergencies or unnecessary things was very low. People really listened. They did a great job. Their number one priority was getting 288, the access to the hospital for emergencies, passable and salted and drivable, and they did that. And so it seemed like a really easy flow yesterday. It was really good.
It was eerie driving past the hospital there across from Memorial City Mall, completely empty. Like, I've never, ever, ever driven through there in a daytime hour where there's zero cars.
Yeah.
I felt like it was kind of apocalypsy, but peaceful.
I was just glad that people listened.
What about the Katy Freeway with the one with the 24 lanes?
So I went down that.
How empty was that?
And
that would be a cool shot if you could be there.
Completely empty, and then I went up on 610, which that's traffic 30 all the time. I was like, oh my God, I have the whole freeway to myself. But on my way back to the hotel last night, I was like, ooh, this is going to be scary in the morning because everything was melting and careening across the freeway with all the, the melting snow.
It's 22 degrees right now, so that just turns into a sheet of like black ice, and you got to be careful. Eric, what you were referring to about the 24 lanes, in case people don't realize what he's talking about, I-10 at Gessner is the widest freeway in the entire United States.
Yep, I believe that.
Is that where it is right there?
Yeah, I-10 and Gessner.
Seems like it's at right there at 610 and I-10. That seems like where it's so massive, but
right, because you have those extra ramps and those extra lanes. Well, we're going to be here again, just keeping you updated and letting you talk. We're going to talk to a lot of officials that are giving us the updates of where to go, what to do, because now people are going to want to peep out of their houses. And this is more dangerous than yesterday at 5. Because yesterday at 5, the roads were like, oh, okay, cool. The snow has melted off the road. I can see the concrete road, but it's not ice yet. Now it's ice. So keep it with us all morning long, because we're going to just keep you informed, and that's what we're doing here. What's the official degree right now? 22.
Yeah.
At Westheimer and Gessner.
Basically, you're looking at temperatures that will probably get close to 50 degrees today, which is going to feel pretty nice, but right now, 22 degrees.
We have a few more hours then to deal with this.
Yep.
Is it only a few? I guess it will be done by what, 6?
Well, I mean, no. This morning,
by 10,
around 10 or 11 a.m., it'll
at
get
10 a.m.
freezing.
At 10 a.m., it's supposed to get above freezing.
True. Okay. All right, we'll be right back on the Roula and Ryan Show.
Oh, 4.1 KRBE. It's the Roula and Ryan Show. Houston recording its highest single-day snowfall since 1973 yesterday. Y'all, we had the biggest amount of snow that we've had in 52 years.
Most of us have seen in our lifetimes.
Yeah.
Most of us have ever seen in our lifetimes. We were
in Houston for sure.
That's what I'm saying. Like in Houston, Texas, most of us have never seen that ever. So that was pretty fantastic. And of course, with every weather alert, weather storm, weather situation, we always go to our guy, Jeff Lindor. He is a meteorologist with Harris County. He's been on for so many of these events. You know him, you love him, and he's back on the Roula and Ryan Show. Hi, Jeff.
Hey, good morning, guys. How are y'all?
Hey, good morning, Jeff. So is this playing out the way you thought it would?
Yeah, I think for the most part, I think we were forecasting maybe a little bit more snow for the metro area, which we did kind of get a little bit east of us in LaPorte. We got about 6 inches of snow over there. And then, of course, it got crazy as you went over into Louisiana and the Florida Panhandle. 11 inches of snow in New Orleans. I mean,
whoa.
Can you believe that?
Oh, my God. I did not hear that. 11 inches. Holy smokes. Now, Jeff, when we compared the numbers to the stat Ryan was talking about from the 70s, how much more snow do we get from that snowstorm that was the last big record breaker? Do we have that number?
Yeah, so the issue kind of we get into with this type of stuff and comparing is the observations are taken at different places. So, for example, yesterday Intercontinental had 1.8 inches and Hobby had 3 inches. And so it varies so much. it's really hard to historically compare it. But I think back in the 70s, we had 1 to 2. 1960, we did have 3 inches up at Intercontinental, so that's kind of a comparison there. So we didn't make that yesterday. And our big one, and the big one for the entire Gulf Coast, is 1895. We had 20 inches of snow here in Houston.
I saw that on the news yesterday. That's crazy.
This
20 inches.
This storm was very similar to that storm in 1895. So this is probably about a once in a 100-year or generation event.
Amazing.
Wow.
And no, I wasn't around.
I didn't say it.
Ryan was going to Yellowstone there.
I was waiting for that.
Yeah, Jeff, I was teasing earlier that, people may not remember or realize that May 2nd, we should all be wearing our blue button-downs. It was Jeff Lindor Day. Do you celebrate that day still because of what you did after the...
Well, yeah.
After Harvey, the mayor gave you a day. So is that like a day when you wake up on May 2nd, do you tell your wife, Lily, like, it's my day today?
Yeah, that usually doesn't go over too well in the house.
He can try it. It just doesn't work.
I feel like the atmosphere for us as viewers of the news or living through this snow day, we're not calling it snowpocalypse or snowmageddon because we've all had kind of an easy go overall. I feel like the attitude in the atmosphere has been pretty positive and pretty good. Is this one of those things where city officials can high five and like, okay, everything went great for us this time. We got this, guys. Good job.
It's interesting. We were having that conversation yesterday evening, and we wanted to get through this morning. Obviously, we still have some issues out there on the roadways this morning, so we need to make sure people stay, and so we don't have any big problems. But we have been really fortunate. I think Monday being a holiday helped us. I think the forecast, which was really good from 4 or 5 days out, helped. And so I think people were really aware of this, and they heeded the advice, they heeded the warnings to stay home. And we haven't had any power issues. I hope now we can kind of move past the February 21 event, and not every time we get cold and ice and snow, we're going to have power issues. I think there's been a lot of changes to a lot of that stuff. And so, a lot of the changes and the positives we've seen from, say, February 21, we saw with this storm. And this was really just a travel issue. And so if you stayed home, you're perfectly fine, and you had a memorable experience with it.
Yeah, how many people were building snowmen and kids playing and the dogs and sleighing, all that stuff?
People were calling it snow ice cream. I was like, it's an icy.
My kid did that. She made that and put Dr. Pepper in it. I'm like, oh, that's so Texas.
Just stay away from the yellow.
What,
Ryan?
Hey, Jeff, what about today? Like this morning, I love that I'm not seeing people on the roads. They're listening to you guys. I mean, it's still really bad out there, right? With some certain pockets of ice.
Yeah, the bridges and the overpasses and the interchange ramps are still in really bad shape. We have some pretty big issues, especially down on the south and east side. That's where they had a little more snow, and so that hadn't melted as much or dried. The good news is once it gets about 10, 11 o'clock, we're going to get above freezing, and by noon, 1 o'clock, a lot of this is going to melt. We're going to dry a lot of this up today, and so while I can't rule out a couple isolated issues tomorrow morning, business is going to be back to usual by 3 or 4 o'clock this afternoon. So this will all be your picture memory on your phone by then.
Aww.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. At what point is everybody going to be like, okay, I'm going to get out of my house now because I think we're good, and then we're going to run into problems because people didn't realize the ice is where it is? Would you say like after 2 o'clock would probably be a safer bet than before 2 o'clock because of the sun?
Yeah, we're going to have to give the sun a little bit of time to do its work this morning, and I would say by noon, 2 o'clock, a lot of this is going to be gone on the bridges and the overpasses, and but not this morning. You can't get up this morning. You can't get out there. We got just sheets of ice on these bridges, and it's going to take some time. And we've been very fortunate. We have not had significant accidents. We had one down in Fort Bend County, and we had some yesterday evening when the sun came out, people started to drive around a little bit. So if we can just give it another 6-7 hours, we'll be out of this.
Now, Jeff, we're speaking to Jeff Lindor. He is Harris County's meteorologist. I remember a lot of us were really thrown for a loop when the derecho hit. Remember last, 6 months ago? Well, it was more than that. And it just came out of nowhere. But you guys really had this planned out. Like did everything go accordingly, like how you predicted?
Yeah, I think for the most part, I think we're maybe a little bit high on the snowfall totals, especially, on the north and west side. They didn't get quite as much, maybe only about an inch up that way. So I think we're a little bit high. But, a lot of times when you see these signals in the forecast guidance for days and days and days, it gives you the confidence that you're going to get something. And, you know, if it was an inch of snow here or 4 inches or 5 inches, anything like that here is, from a transportation standpoint, is obviously going to be a problem. So we were really confident we were going to have those types of issues. We were able to, you know, come out very early with canceling school on Sunday.
Yeah,
we were able to get, you know, get people in place and have, you know, bring in snow plows. TxDOT had 30 snow plows brought into the area.
That was pretty impressive. Y'all got those fast.
Oh,
we're
yeah.
like, where's the snow plows coming from?
Yeah, because we only have like 2 on normal. And so I think the forecast not really changing a whole lot and sticking really helped the preparation side. I mean, TxDOT was able to pre-treat virtually every freeway.
That's great.
And, you know, for a lot of these times we're like, oh, we don't really know. It might be 30 in freezing rain, or it might be 33 in rain, and it's real close, and then we get it, and then everything ices up. This was a pretty slam dunk on the forecast from early on.
All right, I'm going to ask you to look into your meteorological crystal ball, Jeff Lindner, and tell us, have we broken the seal now? And is this possible to happen again? Like, not on the regular, but maybe in 2 years? Or is this going to be like one of these once in 50 years thing again? What do you think?
Well, you know, it's an interesting question, and I kind of tell my kids all the time, some of the stuff that they've seen when they grew up, I could never imagine when I was growing up, because we just didn't really get this, you know, that type of snow. You know, if you think back to 21 and all that, and the hurricanes and everything we've had recently, and so, you know, I think this was a pretty historic event, even though we might have not broken records and stuff like that. You know, this is going to be pretty rare for us. And so I don't anticipate it's something we'll see again in a while. But, you know, the weather's the weather, and for all I know, it could happen in 3 weeks again.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's going to be a high of 84, and then we're down to 17 again.
Yeah, what's the high next week? Are we in the 70s next week? I haven't even looked. Does anyone know?
Oh, yeah, we'll be back
Jeff
up to our
know.
balmy 60s and 70s by the weekend.
Yeah.
Okay.
There we go.
Jeff Lindner, meteorologist
there
with
for us,
Harris
man.
County. Thanks so much, Jeff, for taking time to be at the Roula and Ryan Show, as always.
Thanks, guys. You have a good one.
Stay
All right,
safe.
take care.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Wow, look at that. Man, we really lived through something fun yesterday, and thank goodness it was a school holiday. It was Martin Luther King Day, and that really helped tremendously because people already were planned to be closed, banks closed, all that stuff. Because that's I think, don't y'all feel like that's like the worst part? When bosses are like, well, y'all got to come in the office. I think it's going to be okay. You're like, no, it's
Yeah.
holiday.
Especially kids
What
in
makes
schools, when kids go into school and then they have to, the freeze hits it like in the afternoon, or, you know, something happens,
Yeah.
the kids are trapped.
Better safe
Rain,
than
we've had
sorry.
that.
Well, coming up next, y'all can text us at 37530. Give us your thoughts. If you're up and awake with the Roula and Ryan Show, why are you up and awake?
Why are you doing that?
Yeah, why are you up and awake? Like, what is it, just because you're early riser, or you actually have to go into work? Non-essential worker who's going to work, doing what? Like, what boss told you to come in and you're not
Just
essential?
hold off till 10:30 at least. Just hold off, people. Don't go out there. Stay home.
As Jeff said, really, it's like after 2:00 is when we should. Right now, do not, because the ice sheets everywhere. But yes, that's what we're all about, giving you the information and having fun today on the Roula and Ryan Show. We'll be right back.
104.1 KRVE. All right.
Back to Roula and Ryan.
All right, we are in day 2 of this snowstorm, and I guess we're done with the snow.
Day. So much fun to see out your window that it's still there, guys. That's the number one thing in Houston when it has snowed in our lifetime in the past. And we're like, well, it's not going to stick.
It's not fluffy anymore.
Snowing.
Now it's
It's
kind of
just
icy.
Crispy.
Yeah.
It's just pretty still. It's all on my bushes. I actually did the adulting thing for the first time ever where we covered the bushes outside. Never once have I covered them because I thought, they're going to die. It's going to be cold. They're going to be dead. So we really went to the effort to cover everything. I mean, really, it's called laziness in the past.
Cover anything.
Yeah, I'm just like, okay. But we got these bushes, Sam, that, you know, listen, adulting is for real. And you have to buy landscaping. That's not cheap. And so I was like, okay,
heck no.
let's at
That's why I
least
don't
try
buy
and
it,
save.
Rula.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. But the house came with it, and I don't want it to be bare afterwards.
I
Be
got
that
rocks.
one janky house that doesn't have anything
That's
because it's all
true.
burned
in
up.
your neighborhood.
I'm
Maybe
just
I'll look
like,
at that. Look at that lady's house.
Look at them. They didn't cover nothing.
She's real dry.
Look at them. So yesterday, when the sun had melted some of the snow, it had made puddles on top of the fabrics covering the bushes. I'm like, well, that doesn't look like it's doing the bush any favors. So I'm just trying to clean it off them. I couldn't feel my hands. I said, okay, forget. I'm going inside. So all that snow is still piled on top of the bushes on these fabrics. I mean, it's still there. I guess it'll melt off today. But I'm so happy to look outside and see a little snowy wonderland.
Yeah, it's so
nice.
pretty. One thing I bet most of us didn't think about, how are the animals acting at the Houston Zoo? So I was reading up a little bit about this, and it said that a lot of them were out there playing, but they said the gorillas and the apes, they took one look outside and were like, nope, decided to stay in their habitat.
Did you see the meme for New Orleans, Louisiana? They said, make sure to bring your pets inside. They're showing alligators. I'm like, since that's majority of their animals.
All I can think of is the movie The Water Boy with Adam Sandler, where Kathy Bates is serving alligator for dinner.
I don't remember that.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
They had the little
He has
mini
the girlfriend
alligators.
over.
Him and his girlfriend, they're just eating a corn on the cob. Little alligators.
Why you want to play that foosball, Bobby?
Yeah.
Remember that part.
Ben Franklin is the devil.
Well, I mean, they do eat alligator, right? That's a Louisiana cuisine. I mean,
I've had alligator
bites.
before.
Does Papado still have that on their menu? I remember when Papado first splashed onto the scene, that was one of their appetizers. I mean, people eat that very normally in some states. And I do remember when I was living on the East Coast, Sam and Kevin, you'll get a kick out of this one. Steve Irwin, who was a crocodile hunter, was on our show live in studio.
What?
And then he had to go to, and he was promoting, his show. And then he had to
His
go
movie.
to Fox. Or it was his movie back then? I can't
Yeah,
remember.
because we had him in Dallas, and you had him in Philly.
Oh,
So
he
he
was
was
doing
making
the
the
circuit. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
And afterwards, he went to the local Fox station, like many times here on our local Fox station. You will see that. And they had some guy prepping alligator, and Steve Irwin got so offended. He was, they were making it the way alligator bites. And he was so offended that he left the set, he left the station. One person said that he was so emotional they thought he cried because they could not believe they had booked him to promote his stuff, and then they had the Stones to actually make that a cooking segment.
Oh, that was bad planning
so
for
mad.
sure. But I mean, think about it. It'd be no different for, the way he's so passionate about them.
If it's a
Or
cow,
was.
does he eat steak? Did he eat steak? What if you like cows? For him to cry about
Isn't
it.
his whole thing to rescue?
There's a lot of alligators here. It's not like they're extinct.
No, but if you view them as like we view dogs,
Pets.
and you walked into a studio and people were preparing dog or something, you'd be pretty upset. You'd walk out the studio. I would
But nobody
assume.
eats dogs in the U.S.
That you know.
I'm not touching that.
I'm not touching that one.
We've been through that drama this past couple months.
Yeah. Let's start off 2025 on a
I'm
clean
scared.
state.
I'm actually scared to say anything now.
Oh, gosh.
But once again, they're advising still stay off the roads right now. Things will start heating up this afternoon. I think we're above freezing by 11 a.m. this morning. And then the ice will start to melt. And then,
I got to say something about driving on the roads yesterday.
Yeah.
I mean, I got to hand it to the plows and the salt that they did put down. But the corridor between I-10 going north up to 610, on up to 290, there's that one corridor there. I don't think, but 4 cars have driven through it because there's still all kinds of snow. They didn't give a crap about trying to clear any of it off. It will easily refreeze. I was kind of disappointed in TxDOT for forgetting about that part because it was very treacherous. And then sure enough, on my way back to the station last night, there was a wreck there because of all that ice. So if you don't have to be on the roads today, girl, it is messy out there and you'll be just fine. Then all of a sudden, oh my God, there's a pile of ice and snow and people don't know how to handle it.
you have to take this very seriously. 2 people did lose their lives because of this storm. There was a woman driving in snowy conditions in northeast Harris County, and she lost her life when her car veered in the wrong lane and hit an 18-wheeler. And then authorities did respond to more than 160 vehicle wrecks. Very few, caused any serious injury, but you got to take this very seriously right now. You cannot see that ice.
And another thing is, if a tractor trailer is going down the road in front of you and the snow and ice on the top of their vehicle comes loose, that's a lot of snow that's going to come into your lane. I saw someone veer off the highway after getting hit by one of those big old chunks of snow coming off the top of a tractor trailer. So, man, you stay away from those guys today. If you see snow on top of them,
Eric, you said
that's not the rodeo sounder later, is it?
No,
man, I got a fun one.
That's
man, I hope not.
This is
crashing.
Y'all, it's so fun. It's just me and Kevin in the studio, and it's so fun watching him put these things together. He does put a lot of work into those rodeo sounders. So your first rodeo sounder, we'll give you that sounder at 8 o'clock this morning. So just about an hour and 10 minutes from now. And then when you hear that sounder play between 9 a.m. and 7 p.m., caller 104 scores tickets to the rodeo.
On social media yesterday, the video of Billy Wagner, the former Astro, did you see him? He was like leaning against his pool table with his wife, and they called him and told him he made the Hall of Fame. 'Cause this was his last year of eligibility.
Oh,
I think after 10 years, then you have to get in it harder. It's harder to get in.
Oh, really?
And just to see him like break down and cry, he's wearing his Astros hat and stuff because he played for like 3 or 4 other teams. But I mean, he had all of his success
with the Astros
here in Houston.
Yeah,
back in the mid-90s. Basically, he retired the year we started the show.
Oh, really?
95 to 03. So I think he was here for that 03 season. Or no, yeah, I think then, yeah. He didn't retire. Then he got traded or he went to another team.
But he still views Houston as his mainstay.
Yeah, because he got most of his strikeouts there. He was a beast reliever. So it's just cool to see. If you get a chance, watch that. Just type in Billy Wagner on like social media, and you see the video of just a grown man just crying. Because,
well, yeah, to be acknowledged by your peers, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's the Hall of Fame. It's pretty awesome. So congratulations to him. We got another one in the Hall of Fame for the Astros. It's pretty cool.
Now, coming up this morning, Eric, you've got quite a few like informative guests booked. Like, who do we have coming up in the 7 o'clock hour?
We got, of course, our chief of the fire department, Thomas Munoz. He's going to call us in about, what time is it now? 6:51. About 10 minutes, he'll call us. We'll get a recap. We talked to him yesterday just to make sure, see how things were. I didn't see much in the news about fires. Hopefully people were safe for the space heaters. Then around 7:40, Leo Flores, he's the public information officer from TxDOT. So, Kevin, you can ask him about that if you want.
Yes.
Area.
I mean, I don't want to, pin him in a corner or anything like that.
But maybe there's a reason they left that part there. Maybe they did that on purpose. I don't know. Maybe it was done right after you left. Who knows? I am not sure about that. Yeah. And then in the 8 o'clock hour, we're going to have Brian Mason or Ruth Tovar from the city the City of Houston's Office of Emergency Management, because they're the ones who put everything together, and I think did a great job.
I'd say so, yeah.
And look out the roads. You don't see people driving. They're listening and being safe, thank God.
I think that's the one takeaway from this. I'm just really proud that everybody finally, just listened. There's nothing out there that you need right now. You just
I'm afraid they're
stay home with your family.
I'm afraid the next hour or two they're going to go out there and just... That's where you get in trouble. Just stay home just a few more hours. It's almost done.
Wait for the sun to come up. It's going to be above freezing.
Too.
Yeah,
I feel like there's like so many people. I live on a street, and I feel like there were so many people flying on it yesterday. And I was like, what are you doing? Like, what was the reason? I'm so glad my car wasn't parked on the street.
I saw your video, and your son gave a side eye to a guy in a truck going by. Did you see that? Did you notice that in the video?
So fast. Yeah.
Your son's like, what the heck?
All right. We'll be right back with all the details coming up next on the Roula and Ryan Show.